Okay, this is AP Psychology, Chapter 7, Part 2. We left off with sleep deprivation, and what we want to do this time is discuss the several risks associated with sleep deprivation. People today suffer from sleep patterns that thwart their energized feelings of well-being. Findings suggest that sleep deprivation puts people at risk for depressed immune system, impaired concentration, creativity and communication, irritability, and slowed performance with greater vulnerability to accidents. Chronic sleep deprivation can also alter may contribute to obesity, hypertension, and chronic sleep deprivation can also alter our metabolic hormonal function, creating conditions that may contribute to obesity, hypertension, and impairment. As we see from this chart here, that when we do the time changes, which usually happen in the fall and the spring, that in the springtime when we lose sleep because we move the clocks forward, the rate of accidents go up, and in the fall, when we move the clocks back, the rate of accidents actually goes down. So there are four theories to why we sleep. One is that sleep protects us. Sleeping in darkness when predators loomed about and kept our ancestors out of harm's way. This is part of that evolutionary psychology concept that we've been talking about throughout the course. Sleep helps us to recuperate. Sleep helps restore and repair brain tissue. Sleep helps with remembering. And sleep restores and rebuilds our fading memories, and sleep and growth during sleep, and the pituitary gland releases the growth hormone. Older people release less of this hormone and sleep less. This first theory that sleep protects is that sleep may have played a protective role in human evolution by keeping people safe during potentially dangerous times. A second theory is that sleep may help us recuperate, restoring and repairing the brain's tissue. And then, of course, the third, sleep restores and rebuilds our fading memories of the day's experiences. After working on a task, then sleeping on it, people solve problems more insightfully than those who stay awake. And this is where that expression often comes from, let me sleep on it. By the act of allowing yourself to sleep helps you process that information in your brain and make the connections necessary, and then suddenly sometimes that helps you solve problems because you've had a chance to allow your brain to recuperate and make those connections. Finally, sleep is linked with the release of the pituitary growth hormone, so those who don't sleep will probably have problems with their growth pains. All right. So now let's talk about some of the major sleep disorders. Some of 10 to 15% of adults complain of insomnia in falling or staying asleep. Rarer but more severe than insomnia are sleep disorders such as narcolepsy, sleep apnea, and people with narcolepsy suffer periodic overwhelming sleepiness, sometimes at the most inopportune times. The person sometimes collapses directly into a brief period of REM sleep. Those who suffer sleep apnea, mostly overweight men, intermittently stop breathing during their sleep. After the airless minute or so, decreased blood oxygen arouses the sleeper to snort in air for a few seconds. Still, other sleepers, mostly children, experience night terrors. They sit up or walk around, talk incoherently, and experiencing a doubling of heart and breathing rates that appear to be terrified. So, in dreams, okay, the link between REM sleep and dreaming has opened up a new era of dream research. The awake, relaxed stage 1 sleep Stage 2 sleep is where we see the sleep spindles, where there's these bursts of activity in our sleep. Stage 3 are these slower, and then stage 4 sleep, and then finally the REM sleep, you have the delta waves. So it are almost as if we're in stage 4 sleep and with this rapid eye movement. So what do we dream and why do we dream it? So what we're going to do now is describe the most common content of dreams. Our dreams are mostly of ordinary events. They often relate to everyday experiences and more frequently involve anxiety, misfortune than triumphant achievement. Sometimes we experience lucid dreams, where the storyline of our dreams, what Sigmund Freud called the manifest content. Sometimes this incorporates traces of previous days' experiences and preoccupations. Only 1 in 10 dreams among young men and 1 in 30 among women have sexual overtones, yet it's still showing that men have this higher incidence of sexual thinking. The sensory stimuli of our environment may also intrude on our dreams. So 8 of 10 of our dreams are these negative emotional content. So oftentimes we're processing our negative thoughts in our dreams. Our failure dreams, people commonly dream about failure, being attacked, pursued, rejected, or struck with misfortune. Sexual dreams, contrary to our thinking, dreams are sparse. Dreams of gender, women dream of men and women equally, while men tend to dream about men more than they do women. Okay. Wish fulfillment. Sigmund Freud suggested that dreams provide the psychic safety valve to discharge unacceptable feelings. The dreams that manifest are apparent. Content may also have symbolic meaning, where latent content that signify our unacceptable feelings. Okay, information processing. Dreams may help sift, sort, and fix a day's experiences in our memories, allowing us to process the troublesome things that occur during the day. So the major processes of Freud believed that the dream's manifest content is censored version of its latent content, which gratified the unconscious wishes. The information process perspective suggests that dreams help us process information and fix it in memory. Some psychological theories propose that REM-induced regular brain stimulation helps develop and preserve neural pathways in the brain. The activation synthesis or explanation is that REM sleep triggers impulses in the visual cortex, evoking a visual image that our brain weaves into a storyline. The brain maturation and cognitive development perspective maintains that dreams represent the dreamer's level of development, knowledge, and understanding. And despite their differences, most theorists agree that REM sleep and its associated dreams serve an important function, as shown by the REM rebound that occurs following REM deprivation. So the physiological function of dreams provide the sleeping brain with periodic stimulation to develop and preserve our neural pathways. These neural networks of newborns are quickly developing, therefore they need more sleep. They're also gaining many new experiences, and help those neural pathways need connections to be made. Activation synthesis theory suggests that the brain engages in a lot of random neural activity, and dreams make sense of this activity. And so that's why you have these strange dreams that will develop into a story that makes sense, even though the content is strange. Cognitive development. Some research argue that we dream as part of brain maturation and cognitive development. All dream researchers believe we need REM sleep. When deprived of REM sleep and then allowed to sleep, we show increased REM sleep called REM rebound. So if you go, you pull an all-nighter studying, and so you don't get your REM sleep for that night, the next night you'll sleep more until you actually catch up on that sleep. All right, this is a summary of the dream theories. Freud's wish fulfillment. Dreams provide that psychic safety valve expressing otherwise unacceptable feelings that contain manifest content and deeper layer of latent content and hidden meaning. Critically, we say that this lacks any scientific support, and dreams may be interpreted in many different ways. Freud had particular things that he used to think that the dreams represented, many of them being sexual in nature. And as we see from our dreams statistics, that our dreams aren't that sexually motivated after all. Information processing. Dreams help us sort out the day's events and consolidate our memories. But why do we sometimes dream about things we have not experienced? This is one of the criticisms of this theory, but it has been found that our sleep and dreaming helps us develop memories. Psychological function. Regular brain stimulation from the REM sleep may develop and preserve neural pathways. This may be true, but it does not explain why we experience meaningful dreams. So the dreams of your father coming to visit, that sort of thing. And then active REM sleep triggers impulses that evoke random visual memories that our sleeping brain weaves into a story. The critical consideration is the individual's brain is weaving the stories, which still tells us something about the dreamer. Okay, so cognitive theory. Dreams content reflects dreamers in cognitive development, their knowledge and understanding. It does not address the neuroscience of dreams. So this brings us to hypnosis. Hypnosis, so what we're going to do is define hypnosis and note some of the similarities between the behavior of hypnotized people and that of most unhypnotized people. Hypnotism is a social interaction in which one person suggests to another that the certain perceptions, feelings, thoughts, or behaviors will spontaneously occur. Research indicates that the strength, stamina, learning, and perceptual abilities of hypnotized people are matched by those of unhypnotized people. Hypnotism originally comes from Mesmer. The credit goes to Franz Anton Mesmer, a physician who mistakenly thought he discovered a thing called animal magnetism. Some of his patients experienced a trance-like state and felt better upon awakening. Those people who have been hypnotized often report that they feel more rested after they have been hypnotized. The aspects of hypnosis. You have your post-hypnotic suggestion. A suggestion is carried out if the subject is no longer hypnotized. Often this is being used as ways of weight loss or to stop smoking or drinking or other types of bad habits people have tried. Post-hypnotic amnesia is a supposed inability to recall what one experienced during hypnosis. So when you are brought out of your hypnotic state, you would not remember what took place during your hypnosis. There are hypnotic feats that have seemed to be done. Strength, stamina, and perceptual memory abilities similarly affect those who are hypnotized and those who are not hypnotized. So